you. Come on in. Welcome to the Scumm Bar. Welcome to the Scumm Bar Podcast, episode 42, where we talk movies, video games, pop culture, books, Vladikov, and everything in between. I'm your host, Mattbrush, and with me today, a very Vladian host. What's your name?
Hold on, I'm making a note because I want to ask you next week, or I'm just going to make sure, which Vlad are you going to mention this time? Okay. Because I expect from now on, every opening will have a different Vlad mentioning.
I'll try my best.
That is the new standard that you have set for this podcast with Mattbrush and Anth0z. It's me, Anth0z.
Hello, Anth0z.
Did you like that really long intro segue?
That was very good. Do you know who Vladikov is?
Nope. Tell me.
It is the vulture from Horton Hears a Who, a Seuss classic.
I don't think I ever read that one.
Oh.
Was
You
that
never had it read to you?
I don't really recall. I remember something about socks. Red socks, blue socks.
One socks, two socks.
I can't. Is that? Yeah, probably. I don't know.
No, that's red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish. That's Seussical.
Oh, what? Then what's the socks one? Is that?
I don't know.
For some
There's
reason.
so many. There's honestly a lot of them, and a lot of them I didn't even know existed. So.
Is there? I swear, there's a scene in Friends where Phoebe's talking about
God.
some sort
What's the time? Are you already doing a Friends reference?
Well, I'm trying to.
3 minutes.
I haven't gotten it
minutes?
yet. But I swear she says some sort of like Dr. Seuss rhyme. I swear she does. Okay, I'm just gonna. Okay, you keep talking.
Okay.
While I look
Okay,
at
I'm gonna
this.
keep on talking here. Anth0z is looking up a Friends reference that has to do with Dr. Seuss. And in the meantime, I'm going to do my favorite Seuss shorty. And it is... okay, don't type in Seuss shorty online. Seuss
Whoa.
story. Let's see. Is there a good one on here? From Penguin Random House, a Seuss story. Nope, this is not helping me. This website's not helping me at all. Sorry. My rambling is not really good. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. I also remember, Horton Hears a Who, Cat in the Hat, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, obviously. Green Eggs and Ham! That's a good one!
That was probably one of my favorites. And I think I was scared to imagine eating, not like legitimately scared, but it just like made me feel really weird to picture eating green eggs and green ham.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so I guess I thought there was a Friends reference for, or I thought that Phoebe said some sort of Dr. Seuss thing, but I think it's just a generic rhyme that I was hearing with
She
like
probably says it very, like, Seuss-like.
Well, yeah. She, or maybe it's, yeah, she did. It starts at 8. We can't be late. He could not, would not want to wait. That was, yeah, that was probably it.
I would just like to point out that you came up with that at 3 minutes in, and I don't know how you did it, but you did.
Everything,
That's nuts.
Everything is Friends.
That's maybe our next closest. That might be our earliest that you've done it for Friends references. So good on you. That's your new record. Try to beat that next time.
Okay.
I want to be like, and with me today is, and you're going to be like, oh, could I be any more of an Anth0z? And you'll find something out.
Watch,
You'll
I'm just
figure
going to
one
say
out.
exactly that's how it is. Like that's what it'll be. Or like I'll be eating a scone, and as soon as you say,
My
and here with me
scone?
today, I'll drop it. It'll be like, my scone, and then that'll be the reference. That'll be it.
I just watched the episode yesterday where he says "my sandwich," and I just love that part.
My sandwich, my sandwich, my sandwich, and the pigeons are flying. Yeah.
There may still be some left in the trash.
Maker.
It was a very large sandwich. I couldn't eat all of it.
What an animated character.
He gets like the drugs put in him, and he's just like, I'm definitely not angry about my sandwich anymore.
Yeah. Man.
Welcome to the Friends Podcast, where we talk everything Friends and everything in between Friends.
Is there a Vlad character in Friends?
Anth0z, would you like to hear a pirate yoke?
All right, fine. We'll get on with this podcast.
That was your most enthusiastic ever. Here we go. Why can't you take a picture of a pirate with a wooden leg?
Because he wouldn't leg you.
That's not bad. Oh, no, it's because a wooden leg can't take pictures, you fool.
I get it. I kind of like mine more, though.
I think yours is better. What is the world coming to when you can come up with a better joke than moi?
I'm going to put that down. Hashtag because he wouldn't leg you.
Anth0z, let's just get out of here. Let's move into ye old news. Ye old news. Do you have anything for ye old news?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Oh, wow.
Have you heard of RCS messaging?
Have you heard of RCS? No, I haven't. What is that?
Papa, can you hear me? I feel like that's just
one episode.
That's just like another running thing too. Like every once in a while, that's just gonna come out. That's not a thing. Yeah, and that too. So anyway, RCS messaging. It's something that we already have with Messenger, WhatsApp, WeChat. I guess iMessage. If you have an iPhone, iMessage would be the like the counterpart or the same thing. Actually,
any kind of instant messaging over Wi-Fi.
So it's supposed to be. So it stands for like rich communication services or something. And yeah, so the point of it would be using data to seamlessly connect not just messages, but like all sorts of media. So I think right now, if you if you have just a regular, say you have like a Samsung smartphone, I believe RCS isn't necessarily enabled for the generic text messages. So like the SMS, I don't think it's not standard messaging system. It stands for something else. But so SMS is your normal like text. But then the moment you send some sort of like photo or video through that text app, it becomes an MMS, so like a multimedia message. So I think there's like some sort of conversion with that in terms of how the phone, how the app actually sends those like text versus media. But RCS is supposed to be this kind of like seamless integration of all things. So. So Messenger, for example, like you can send photos and videos and it's still just like a Facebook Messenger message. It doesn't change whatever kind of message type it is from what I understand. So RCS is something that some of Google is implementing that soon, and it's supposed to be like coming soon for Android. There was actually some sort of like hack kind of thing where you can enable it on your phone, but then I think because it's not ready yet. It's not supposed to be enabled. I think maybe Google. Yeah, but I think Google or whatever like kind of Android operating system. They started cracking down so that they kind of disabled the use. So it's supposed to be coming. I guess it's just a way to make it easier for people to message, and I guess it's going to change the way that messaging service takes place. So yeah, that's a thing. That's that.
Okay.
And yeah, I do have a couple more.
That sounds interesting. It's a little confusing to me, but it sounds interesting.
I think it's probably just the way that I explained it, because I didn't, like typical me fashion, I didn't really look too much into it, but the way I understand it is like iPhone. Okay, so for example, iPhone users have iMessage. So that is like you'll be sending messages over data, as opposed to if you have an iPhone and you message somebody who has an Android, it would be sent as a text message. So it's like a different format.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, I guess, one way where you can kind of mention the difference. But anyway, feel free to look it up so that you can get a better understanding than what I could give you.
I've got a thing open, but it sounds confusing.
Okay, I'm sure you can find something that makes it pretty easy to understand. I'll move on to some other news that's less confusing. So I was taking some courses on Khan Academy, the free online like education thing. It's so this grad from I think MIT, he started this online like school program, and now it's increased like tenfold kind of thing. So I was reading one of the lessons, and it mentioned something about Monowai, Nebraska. So it's a town in the USA that has a population of 1.
Whoa.
Apparently, it was in the 2010 census for the United States. So I don't know when the most recent one will come out, but yeah, as of 2010, it had a population of 1. So I don't know how that works, but it must be that person must never miss their mail. I don't know. Like it was just an interesting kind of tidbit, but yeah.
That's crazy. I wonder how big the town is.
Well, it's a population of 1. I guess it's probably not
large in scale.
It's it's probably not that big at all. I would assume it's the equivalent of maybe like, I don't know, 4 Vancouver blocks or something like that. It can't be that big.
Jeez.
But then I think if you check on Google Maps, it's kind of like in the middle of like a lot of farmland, so that's probably why.
That's what I was picturing. Yeah, yeah. It's almost just like one large farm that just happens to be classified as a town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, town or village or whatever. I don't know what the classifications are. Maybe it's village. Yeah.
The hierarchy of township.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And then my final news is I saw this article, just the title. I didn't read the rest of
this article. Just the title. I didn't read the rest of the article.
And it said that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse will have a sequel. Did you know about this?
Spider-Man! Yeah, actually, I did. I saw that title as well. I also saw that title in that article, and I also didn't read it.
Who reads articles these days? It's all about titles.
Yeah, honestly, okay, so this is exactly what I predicted after I watched Into the Spider-Verse. What was that, like a month ago or whatever? I watched it really late, and when watching it, I think I had a very different opinion to most other people. I didn't really like it, and I think it's because...
Well, you're wrong.
For me, it was either one or the other. It's either make it all about a million different Spider-Mans, or make it just about Gwen, Spider-Man, and the other Spider-Man. Gwen, Miles Morales, and old Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And in that movie, the first one there, it seemed to flip-flop between those two. It didn't know which one it wanted to be. It didn't know if it wanted to show off a bunch of Spider-Man, or if it wanted to just make it about those 3 pillar characters. Mm-hmm. And those 3 pillar characters were good characters, so it would have been better if it was just about them. This movie, I think, if I'm correct, is going to go right into the millions of Spider-Man territory. I think we're going to see like a crazy amount of Spider-Men, and it's going to go berserk. And now that we already have those 3 core pillars of those main characters, I think hopefully they can just go more berserk on the craziness of Spider-Man multiverse. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'll like it, or maybe I won't. We'll see.
Okay, cool.
I'm sure we'll talk about it here on this podcast.
This specific one, and whatever we say goes, right?
Get your chewing gum, because we're going to have a real hootenanny.
When's the last time I heard that word?
Let's move into something I like to call topic number 1.
I'm just so distracted by your handlebar mustache. I'm just watching it move as you say any of these words with extra emphasis.
I'm going to have a handlebar mustache. It's going to be great.
Oh, man. Okay, all right, so...
Anth0z, why don't you take over topic number 1?
All right, so my topic, it is Japanese cartoons, quote-unquote anime, versus American cartoons. And I can't talk about any other cartoons, because I don't really watch any others, but...
Sorry, I'm being very obnoxious. Go ahead.
It's okay. I was waiting for that to go like onto your mustache, and I wanted to drip. I
wanted to, but I've got electronics all around me. It's not good for me to spray water everywhere.
You have water by your computer? That's scary.
I do. And I actually have spilt it on this podcast, as you know, before. There's been many shenanigans on this podcast. There's been a time where there was an ant on my shoulder. There's been a time when I spilled water everywhere.
Right. Oh man, it's too bad we don't do a video podcast. People can see like
run out. I had to use the washroom one time and I had to run out while you were monologuing. There's been some great moments on this podcast.
Yeah, and the time when your neighbor came to give you was it a fig?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Or something?
The neighbor came in just randomly into my back door out of nowhere and just gave me figs.
Yeah, figs. And
Oh, what a wholesome moment. That was great.
Yeah. That's what it's like to be a neighbor on the island.
Okay, I'm sorry, Anth0z. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm having a moment over here.
All right. So, Japanese cartoons, so anime versus American cartoons. I find that there is such a huge difference in how each of those like animations are made. Maybe like the voice acting that goes behind it or that goes into it. Stories themselves are also pretty far from each other in terms of how extreme one will go in versus the other. I also think maybe I don't know if it's the censorship, but American cartoons I find are always a lot more low key than like anime, for example. So I don't. Do you? I know that you mentioned you did watch some anime. Like you did watch Sword Art Online. Is that correct? Like a little bit of it?
Yep. No, I saw the whole thing. Oh no, I didn't. I didn't see season 2. Sorry, I saw all of season 1.
Okay, right.
Which in and of itself was quite an adventure.
Okay, and did you watch? You watched some Dragon Ball as well at some point, but probably in English.
All of Dragon Ball Z. Not Kai, or sorry, not
Super.
What's the new one?
The new one, Super. Yeah,
I haven't seen Super, but I've seen all of Dragon Ball Z, so the original show, so the 300 whatever episodes.
Okay.
And I've seen Pokemon. I really like Death Note. Pokemon. It's actually one of my favorite of that genre. I think Death Note is I think Death Note is actually one of the best TV shows out there. It's incredible. Okay. But I've watched a few animes. I've even gone all the way to the really weeboo kind of spice of life ones. I got into one called Azumanga Daioh, and it's really girly. But man, there was a time there when I loved that show. It was just so good. It was just the episodes were about nothing, but it was just fun to watch. I don't know why, but I got really into it. I swear, put yourself to the test, watch 3 episodes of Azumanga Daioh, and if you don't smile once, then you're not a human.
Okay, so I didn't ever watch that one. So why didn't you tell me a little bit about that one and why you liked it? I'm curious.
That one specifically? Yeah. I really got into the characters, because each character is this is such a show, but each character had their own quirks about them. It was all just girls in high school, and they all had their really specific character flaws.
Yeah.
But because of those flaws, they all became friends or whatever in high school, and it just had these funny high school dramatic moments that just were funny. There was this weird creepy teacher who was hilarious and was always staring at the girls whenever they were going swimming or playing tennis or whatever, and they all knew he was weird. They would point it out, and he was so obvious about it that it just made these really funny edits where cut to him being oh. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's really funny. Yeah. It's also they had the Family Guy treatment where they would take a joke and bash it over your head and take it they would just keep repeating the joke over and over and over again to the point where it became not funny anymore, and you were oh, this is just going on, and then they would do it one more time and you would laugh one more time and then it would cut. It's they knew exactly. It's they knew exactly when it was funny again.
Nice.
There's also this cat that only they can see and no one else can see, and it becomes really funny because they always just go, oh, the cat's back, and his only line is I am not a cat.
Very next day. Sorry, go on.
His only line is I am not a cat.
In the whole series?
It makes no sense. It's just I am not a cat. They're the cat. Anyways, that's what I mean. It's a weird guilty pleasure because I have no idea why it's funny, but it just is. It's hard not to watch it and find some kind of fun out of it. So, funny show. I like it. 1,000 points. Good job, Azumanga Daioh. You somehow heartened this cruel heart of mine.
Okay, cool. That's great. Yeah, thank you for that. I actually
if I can talk about Death Note instead, something more manly. I would have preferred that, but I'll give you Azumanga instead.
You still can. Maybe a little bit later we can still get into that. I already
had a topic of Death Note of how much I like it. So.
Well, okay. So I guess the reason why I ask is because I wanted to find out if there would be any American cartoons that are equivalent to that. Because when I'm thinking to some of the American cartoons that I
know one.
Okay.
You go ahead, but I've got one in my head.
Okay, sure. Just
Of
keep
an
that in mind.
American one that I think is on par with a Japanese show. But-
Okay, cool. Well, okay, so I do have a one American show that is on par with anime, and that would be Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's like the
I
only
always
one.
forget that's American. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly, right? Because it's
Yeah.
so well done.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I can't think of many American cartoons where I can get so invested in a character and characters like Avatar: The Last Airbender in the way that I would get invested in characters like Naruto or Kirito from Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
And then One Punch Man from One Punch Man, and Deku from My Hero Academia. When I think of American cartoons, I think of like Simpsons or King of the Hill, Family Guy.
Sitcom kind of cartoons.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good way to put
Right.
it. Sitcom. Maybe that's the difference. It's because
There's a few good examples though, and maybe they stem in Japanese roots though, so I'm not sure. If you want to take like the GI Joe structure, for example,
so
or
G.I. Joe was kind of like the outlier for me, but yeah, go ahead.
or like a Transformer structure. Now I didn't really watch those shows as much, so for me, I didn't have as much into them. But let's say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which had a really good structure that was very much more like an anime.
Yeah.
It had those like episodic, overarching villains kind of thing. You don't know how far the turtles would go. Inspector Gadget was very similar. For me though, Beast Wars was very American and was very good.
Yeah.
Beast Wars had all the anime tropes in it.
That's true.
And especially throwing in random characters at you and building the cast as it goes on and gets bigger and bigger and bigger to make these big ensemble casts. That's a very anime-like thing that TV shows didn't do as much. TV shows usually had like your heroes, but they were set from the first episode all the way to the end. But Beast Wars was not afraid to just throw in new cast members, and that was great. I loved it.
I agree. Beast Wars is a good example, and because you mentioned Transformers, so Transformers was originally Japanese.
I figured it probably, and unfortunately, I guess that means Beast Wars also would be technically originally a Japanese show.
I mean, actually, you know what? I'm not sure. Was Beast Wars originally Japanese? Because I don't know if Beast Wars was. I almost feel like Beast Wars was. Oh, let's see.
To me, it seems really American. It feels American to me, but maybe it's not.
Beast Wars
G.I.
being
Joe is one
translated
of those ones where
into
like has to be American. Like,
Okay, I'm not entirely sure, but I have a feeling in Japan, the Japanese series Beast Wars 2 and Neo. Okay, I get. Yeah, maybe it was originally Japanese, but I don't know. No, yeah, country of origin, Canada, United States. I thought for some reason I thought Beast Wars was actually made somewhere like in Vancouver or something. Anyway, so yeah, side note, but so Transformers was originally Japanese, but yeah, so Beast Wars definitely. I find like the big difference between Beast Wars and some other American made I guess animated shows is like they will take those characters, like they'll have that full ensemble that you really get invested in, and it's not like every episode is a completely different episode on its own, but everything's always building. There's always either arcs or just long I don't know, like there's either small arcs or big arcs. Same thing with I think the same thing with Ninja Turtles too, because Ninja Turtles, like, it wasn't like every episode was like a one-off kind of thing, right? Like it was always either something that was building up to either like Krang or like Baxter or Shredder or something. They always had like those villains that they weren't just one-off episodes. I think maybe in the beginning most things are, but like Avatar: The Last Airbender, right from the beginning, it's like nothing is a one-off episode. Everything is already like there's so many questions. And you're getting those answers like progressively, right?
Shout outs to a few more American ones, though. There is the Reboot. Is a really good one for that.
So yeah, Reboot is probably one of my most favorite animated shows from like the 90s.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this before too, which is also a Vancouver-based show.
I haven't really watched it, but there was the Batman original cartoon series.
Batman the animated series.
Love that one, and that's very American styled.
Yeah.
And for that note, there's also like Teen Titans, which I think was really popular as well.
And Justice League. I really liked Justice League back then too.
And the Justice League one.
Yeah.
What's it called? Something Adventure Time. Adventure Time's a huge like American cartoon, very different, of course, than like anime, but also at the same time on a weirdly strange level as anime. But that one's following overarching kind of like storylines. Same with Steven Universe. Those are shows that are like trying to follow these gigantic storylines. And then getting down to the heart of the matter, Rick and Morty, I think, is the top American cartoon right now that's like trying to shoot off to crazy story episodic levels of it's almost paving the way for a new American storyline to come out.
Cool.
Of like making America's version of what America thinks anime is. Maybe.
Right.
I'm not sure. But Rick and Morty does have the amount of content story-wise that a regular anime would have. Like, okay, you watch one episode of Death Note, and the amount of story that one episode of Death Note throws in, like, packs into there, is more than a movie can give you.
Yeah.
And an example of that is the Death Note movie that tried to come out. I mean, there was barely anything in that, and you know more about Light Yagami in Death Note episode 1 than you do in the movie of Death Note. It's insane. But anyways, Rick and Morty, same thing. They found so many clever tactics to writing a story, and I brought up Dan Harmon already on the show about his writing technique, but they brought up so many ways to tell a story that it is packing a lot of content into each episode to be like an anime, but it's totally different. Like you said, it's not the same as an anime. And it's hard to know what that is, but it is different. But that would be, in my version of a real American crossover of an anime, would be Rick and Morty.
Okay.
I think Avatar is like a shadow. It's like a not a parody, but it's like it's trying to resemble an anime.
Yeah.
Avatar is an American version trying to resemble a Japanese animation.
Yeah.
And then Rick and Morty is America trying to make their own thing. Right? That's how I see it, at least.
I think, that makes sense. I haven't seen Adventure Time or Rick and Morty, but I want to try to watch those whenever I get a chance to, but I have a long list of anime that I'm going to watch before those.
Of course. And honestly, I'd say you're probably better off with anime anyways. The anime I watch is almost always good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever thrown on an anime show and not liked it. I just have thrown on an anime show and said, I don't have the time for this, and then haven't finished it.
Yeah. And
I think every single one I've watched, I've liked.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good to hear. I'm not trying to pit them against each other for the sake of trying to say like one is better than the other, but it's more so just trying to find the differences, right? Like, I think we've kind of noticed, we pretty much noted a bunch. I think I'm still kind of strung up on how you said sitcom, because actually for me that really explains or that really summarizes like the first cartoons that I mentioned, like Simpsons, Family Guy, King of the Hill, like those kind of shows. Those are very sitcom-like, and it's a little bit different. Like, you're watching kind of just like a family day-to-day. It's like watching Married with Children, but in cartoon, I guess, right? Cartoon form.
Archer is another good one, too. That's a really good American cartoon.
Yeah, my brother told me to watch that.
Yeah. It's different. Not everybody's going to like it. It's, of course, very mature, too, so you have to be like an adult to enjoy it. But then again, a lot of anime is really mature as well, so...
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, if anime, like, there's a certain maturity that is also very immature, if you know what I mean. Like,
totally.
Like, because like a lot of things that they mention, I guess you could say the same thing about American cartoons, but like a lot of the immature aspects of Japanese stuff are when there's a lot of like sexual innuendo kind of stuff, right? Which is not necessarily what makes the American cartoons immature, for example. But when I think of the two, so cartoons versus anime, I think of the voice acting that goes behind it. Because I remember watching, I think I mentioned this in the podcast before, but what I really, really enjoy is just the voice acting of anime alone. Because I watched a couple of videos of somebody doing the voice acting for Dragon Ball and some for doing the voice acting of One Piece. And I don't know if it's just me or if it's because of the language that they, the voice actors have to use. But when I hear, the guy who's voice acting as Goku, and he's kind of charging up, but he's also like yelling at the same time, and he's about to like shoot his Kamehameha. Like it sounds so. It doesn't sound very natural to me. There's something about it that sounds very forced and a little bit too cheesy. But then when I hear the voice acting done in for like One Piece, for example, like you would expect those things to sound cheesy because like it's a guy who, there's one guy who's got like rubber arms and he's yelling his own attack. Like he's yelling the name of his attack before he hits his enemy. And then there's this other guy who just like falls head over heels for every single pretty girl that walks by him. And his voice changes, like he falls over. But the thing is like the voice actors that put these scenes together that are actually saying these lines, like it's like there is absolutely no shame in being like 100% exactly what these characters are. They give it like full force, full effort, and it's so gripping just to watch. It's so like entertaining too, just to watch voice acting on its own. I think I remember finding out a while back that voice acting, like voice actors themselves in Japan, are like they have really big followings. Like a lot of people know like the voice actors, even though you don't see their faces. They're not actually actors. Whereas in like North America, we have a lot of actors who will also do voice acting. So people can put the voice to the face. So like Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender, for example, he was Dante Basco. Is that his name? Yeah, Dante Basco he also plays Rufio and Hook.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Or As the Wind Rises, the Miyazaki film. It's like loaded with cast members. It's insane how, like, you look at the IMDb page of As the Wind Rises, and it's like so many actors. It's insane.
Yeah.
English actors, but yeah. It's crazy because when you watch the anime, like, you're not watching it for those voice actors, like when you hear them, it doesn't really bring anything of those people. But when you look at the IMDb page, you're like, oh, wow. Like, I didn't even realize you had some star talent behind this whole thing.
Yeah. Anyway, so the voice acting I find it's a huge thing for me. And it's also why for certain anime, I would rather watch it than read the manga. So I know a lot of people who would rather read the manga because it's always ahead of the anime. So like if you're reading the manga, then you know.
Yeah, the Shonen Jump stuff would be like the week ahead or whatever.
Yeah, or probably even more so. I think sometimes it'll be like several episodes, I guess, ahead.
Doesn't sometimes the show go on though? Like it surpasses the manga?
That I don't know, because in most cases that I've heard of, the anime is always based off of the manga. So
that's what I thought. And then I thought there was a show where the manga got like frozen, and so like the show had to carry on. Was it Fruit Basket? I think
you're thinking of Game of Thrones. Oh, wow! You watch Fruit Baskets?
No, I never watched it. I thought I heard. Or Host Club? Is it Host Club maybe?
I don't know all the anime.
Yeah, one of them was like a manga series that was running each week, I guess, or whatever. And then the manga got paused and stopped. Yeah. And then the show continued on, and it had its own ending. And it had to end the whole thing. And eventually ended it. Then the manga continued, and it had a whole different storyline altogether. So then they both were like separated after a while.
Right. Okay.
So
anyway, so just like kind of one more comparison, but with anime, there are more cases where I can find that there is at least one character who I can get so invested in that like I kind of like yearn what they yearn for, and I get happy for the same things. Like I'll feel sad and like embarrassed for like all the same things, and I'll kind of cringe too. I don't always get that with American cartoons. Like I can't picture any time where I felt like I was really ecstatic for Bart Simpson, for example.
That right there, that's actually the main part of it. That's one thing I just want to say about Japanese animation and American animation. Even with Rick and Morty, which I think is one of the more emotional kinds of shows I've seen as far as American cartoons go, I think with every anime I've seen, at least, there's so much more emotion of myself put into the show. So I care way more about Goku than I've ever cared about an American character I've seen in a cartoon. So yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah, what you're talking about there, that's what really gets me about anime, and that's why I keep coming back. And I think that's why even my fiance, who I wouldn't have thought would like anime, ends up liking it too, is just because when you put yourself into these characters, when you end up relating with these characters, they're put in such an exaggerated emotional space that you can't help but get like wrapped up in that space too.
Exactly.
And you're like, when you finish, like even Sword Art, when we finished Sword Art, it felt like just like we were exhausted, you know, because it was like, it was a whole thing. It was like very emotional and very intense. And same with Death Note. You can't help but going through Death Note. I'm good. If we had a bingo sheet, mine would be Death Note, but but you can't help but watching an episode of Death Note and not feel tense, because every single second of that show, you feel like Light Yagami is going to get screwed over by something, and you're just like, you're so tense watching it. And it's I don't know what that is, but they know the formula of how to pull you in and make you relate to those characters. It's very well done. It's very honest.
Yeah. Maybe one last thing I just remember, but I think it also has to do with like how strong their actual animation is, like in terms of anime. So I can't think of any other American cartoons that have anything or that are similar to Attack on Titan. But Attack on Titan for me was probably one of the most memorable shows that I can think of where I would actually sweat while watching, because I would just get so like there's so much suspense built into like just about every scene. I don't know how they do it, but every encounter with the humans as they kind of unravel more information, it's still kind of making me like, what? Are you serious? Like, how did they, like, what does this mean? And then in those encounters when like the humans actually are like face to face with Titans, and it's just like they have these still frames, and you just see like, you can see the the reaction in the people's faces, but I'm feeling that, like, I'm feeling that tension in my body too, and like I actually sweat when I watch that show. Oh man,
that's good. And in turn, watching Dragon Ball Z, you cannot help but watch Dragon Ball Z and feel motivated. That's the most motivating show I've ever seen. Rocky's the most motivated movie I've ever seen, and Dragon Ball Z is the most motivating show I've ever seen. Like, both of them teach you great values in life. So.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Anyway.
No, you know what? This is like the week of you inspiring me, but I'm going to make sure I try to watch some more anime here. So I'm typing in Attack on Titan to remind myself that we need to go through that again.
And I'm putting in Rick and Morty. So I'm going the other way.
See, that's one of the ones that I watched too much and then fell out of it. So I haven't kept up with the recent episodes, but I watched season 1 and season 2 quite a bit. And I got really into it, and then I don't know, I got kind of sick of it after a while. So
okay.
I'm currently off Rick and Morty, but I have to say, when I was into it, I was really into it. So I think as far as American cartoons go, it's pretty darn good.
Let's see. So
they
Rick
know
and Morty...
their tropes well, and every episode you don't know where it's going. It keeps on going.
Yeah. Okay.
And it feels very improvised, so it can be very funny.
Cool.
But as far as like emotional, like really emotional, it's got maybe 1 or 2 scenes, very Futurama-esque. Futurama's a good one. But yeah, it's very Futurama-esque, where it can be emotional, but it's only in like 1 or 2 like scarce episodes where it gets emotional. And then most of the time it's just funny. But this anime does it like every episode. It gets you emotional.
You know what? Actually, I like your example of Futurama, because so that's also done by Matt Groening, and when that came out, I thought that was just going to be sort of like, I mean, it does resemble Simpsons in some form, I guess in many forms, but for Futurama, I guess the big difference between that and say something like King of the Hill or The Simpsons is that like, yes, it is about a group of people, but ultimately you're sympathizing with the one human that is from your era, which is Fry, right?
Fry.
And who I assume is supposed to be inspired by McFly, like Marty McFly. He's got like, he's got a red jacket.
I don't know. That makes sense. Yeah.
Like he's the one guy that's like in the future, right? So anyway, so Fry,
I never thought about that.
You can, it's like, it's easy to sympathize with him because he goes through all these emotions because he's got like Leela that he like falls in love with, and then for me, I always I'm kind of like a sucker for the character that you would least expect to show some sort of emotion, and so for me that would be like Bender. Right, Bender's the robot who's supposed to be like kind of emotionless. In most cases, he's like he's kind of like the Oscar the Grouch of the show. Yeah. But I remember like kind of maybe later on in the series that he would kind of show like some sort of like friendship towards Fry. Like he did actually have some care for him and like for people, right? And so it's stuff like that gets me, where they can really bring around some instance where they show that connection, or whether it's unexpected or not. And yeah, that's the kind of stuff that gets me. I think that's probably why I like anime so much more than most American cartoons, is because they have a good way of showing, I guess, inspiring. Yeah, I actually like how you said it. Like, you get really motivated from like anime.
I definitely do.
Yeah, motivation, inspiration, and connection. Yeah. Well, keywords for the day.
Since it took us that long to remember Futurama, I'm sure there's a lot of shows we missed. So if anybody remembers or is thinking of it, like you're screaming this one show in your head, wishing for us to say it, we might even totally agree with you. We just don't remember it right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's just so many. I'm picturing one off the top of my head, and I don't know if it was really originally Japanese. I don't know if it was, but Cyber 6. I think we've talked about this.
Oh yeah, you've talked about Cyber 6, of course.
Cyber 6, that was a great cartoon.
It sounds very Japanese style, but who knows? Maybe it is just American.
Actually, the name, that's how you can tell when it's like a Japanese versus American, when the title or the name just doesn't make sense. Like, what is My Hero Academia? What does that even mean?
Power Rangers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's not what it was called in Japan, right? It was called.
Oh, what was Fighting Samurai or Seven Samurai or whatever it's called?
I don't remember what it was called.
I can't remember. Anyways, that's all
Anyway,
good.
Yeah.
I've got now a billion tabs open of things I need to check out after
Me too.
this.
I'm gonna rewatch
podcast.
Cyber 6. I can't wait.
Okay, by next podcast, I expect that you've seen every episode of Cyber 6.
Cool. All right.
And Rick and Morty.
Challenge accepted.
That is funny, actually, the comparison. I didn't realize Futurama and Rick and Morty both have their roots in Back to the Future. I never realized that till you mentioned that about Futurama. I never thought about Fry being McFly. But Rick and Morty also is trying to be like a parody, in a sense, of Back to the Future.
Right. Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay.
I wonder what it is about that storyline that really gets us, but it does. Okay, we're going to move on to something I like to call the Wheel of Scum.
Scum.
Anth0z.
Scum.
I lost my page.
Scum.
Can you cue the music? In the Wheel of Scum, we have a choice of 7 different games that we could be playing. So we'd like to spin the wheel and find out which game we're going to play today. So on the wheel, we have number 1, Pirate Adventure. Number 2, I Can't Believe It's Not Better. Number 3, Crossover Cross Bover. Number 4, Tit for Tat from Anth and Matt. Number 5, Who Wants to Be Scum Millionaire. Number 6, Swashbuckler. And number 7, Across the Universe. Anth0z. Can you wait 2 seconds while I share my screen? There we go. And continue.
Click. Oh.
Whoa!
Did I? Oh, okay.
It's going! The wheel is going!
Nice. The Christmas Wheel of Scum.
And it...
Just
It's Who Wants to Be Scum Millionaire! Okay, that means I gotta go find you a quiz. So give me a second here, Anth0z.
Wait.
Let me
more
find
music?
you a quiz. No. I said give me a second.
Oh, I thought you said cue the music again, and then give me a second.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Don't. Do not cue the music.
Okay. Whew, because I am totally out of songs.
Okay, I need to quiz you on something. So, what can I quiz you on?
Music?
No, actually, I've got a good one.
Okay. Fine. Don't listen to me.
Sorry. No, because it's going to then pertain to my topic, so I like this.
Okay. Oh, cool. Ooh, that's a good segue. Even though I don't even know it.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I hope this quiz is a good one. We'll find out. We like to find these little quizzes around here so we can play these little quiz games. This is called improv, ladies and gents, and we don't know where it's going, so we'll see if it's good or not. Sorry, my internet is taking forever, so it's not loading the trivia. It's trying to load.
Wait.
It's trying. Go. Okay, whoa.
Okay. I'm trying to... Yeah, okay, so I think we've kind of like hit our bandwidth because of all these tabs because I'm not really hearing you.
Oh, no.
Hold on. Maybe I gotta close something.
Maybe that was
Can you hear me?
Because my mind was like stopping. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm gonna message you.
Uh-oh.
I can hear you.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. I think you're coming back now.
I gotta close my
I
tabs.
think you're coming back
What?
now. Oh, there we go. I think that might
can
have been
still
my
hear you.
internet, actually, because...
I can...
Wait. What is there? Pause. Wait. Am I typing this as I'm saying this?
Yes. Papa, can you hear me?
Okay, good. Wait, are we just a normal stream now again? Everyone,
I
bear
don't
with
know,
our craziness.
but I'm gonna just type to you anyway. Can you...
Okay.
Papa, can you
Can you hear
me?
my typing
Question mark.
as you hear this? Wait, that doesn't make sense. Did this appear on your screen after I pressed enter?
It appeared on my screen before you pressed enter.
That doesn't make
As
sense.
in, I literally saw the message before I heard you press the enter button. And I'm sure it was the enter button because you hit it really hard. And people only ever really hard hit the enter button.
Okay. Okay.
Wait,
can you see the
haven't
quiz?
answered me. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I thought this whole time you were just doing this based on the messages I was sending you.
No.
Okay.
I was just like also looking for a quiz in the meantime, so I wasn't too focused on our screen
I
problem.
see. Okay.
Okay, this is also not really the quiz I want. Or is it?
Is it a music quiz?
Oh, it's a music quiz. That's not what I want.
Whoa, that's cool.
That was a weird one.
Wait, is this how Who Wants to Be a Scummillionaire usually goes?
No, normally.
Okay.
Are we timed? No, we're not timed. Okay. Anth0z, can you see the screen? Yes, you can. Okay, can you name this game?
It's not called Excite Bike, is it?
I believe it is!
Oh, it is. Oh, wow.
Good job,
Hey,
sir.
how did I know that?
All right. Can you name this game?
Ooh, did they call it? They probably just call it Metroid, not Super Metroid. Let's go with wait. Yeah, Metroid.
People at home, it's the classic photo of Samus from the NES classic
Metroid.
Metroid.
Yes.
All right. Can you name this game?
Ooh, I guess it's this first one is called. Is it the first one or? Okay, The Legend of Zelda. Oh, The Legend off.
Off.
Did they?
The legend off. Turn the legend off. There you go.
Okay, good.
You got it right. Can you name this game?
Shoot. That looks like Alien, but is it Contra? I never actually played this game.
I believe it's Contra 3, but maybe just if we say Contra, we're okay.
Nice.
No, that was the first Contra. Wow, I didn't realize aliens were in the first Contra.
Infamous
but
code
apparently
for
they were.
30 lives. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A star.
Yeah.
But that's the Konami code. That's like every...
Look who made Contra.
Yeah. Aha.
That's where it started.
But
was
then why would
Contra.
it should say Contra's infamous code. It should say Konami's. 'Cause, yeah.
Well, I mean... Oh, well, yeah. Okay, here we go.
All right.
What game is this?
Ooh, Double Dragon.
Oh, wow. That's not what I thought it was. Awesome.
Is it Double
You're probably
Dragon?
Right. You are right.
Yes.
Good job. I thought that was Streets of Rage, but you're totally right.
Oh,
Streets of Rage wasn't on NES, was it? That was Sega.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're going to medium
Round two,
territory.
medium?
All right, what game is this?
Oh, I have no idea what this is. Are you sure?
Oh,
Okay.
It was Super Ace.
Oh,
Sorry, I tried to help you.
I see. It's called.
I've never heard of Super
Why
Ace.
is it called Super Ace? And yet 1942 is the biggest set of letters.
I think that's
and/or
actually like
characters.
maybe it's an alternate title. I don't know. Oh no, sorry. The main character in the game is called
Oh, I
Super Ace.
see.
The game is 1942. My bad.
Okay.
I didn't realize that.
The character is a plane. Oh.
What game is this?
I'm supposed to know which one?
Probably. For anybody at home, it's clearly Mega Man,
But
but you have to figure it out.
Mega Man 3?
Is it eyes or would I put a number?
Just go with the eyes. Mega Man I.
I think it's 2, to be honest.
Oh,
it was
I
3,
got it.
and we did the eyes, and we're supposed to do the number. No!
Oh, we got it wrong? Oh,
Okay,
but we got it right, though.
Yeah, I'll give you that one, though, because you should have got that one right. You've only had one wrong. It was kind of my fault. What game is this?
Okay, I didn't play it, but I think it's Castlevania.
It sure is.
I can guess because... Is that Simon? Is that his name?
Simon Belmont.
Yeah, I only know it because he's an amiibo. Or he's a character in
Thing
Smash
is, though,
Bros.
I actually think this is like a different one than the first one, but it might be the first one. Yeah, okay, there you go.
Nice.
Simon Belmont. I love Castlevania. That's a good game. Okay, what game is this?
Is this what I think it is?
The cover says, destroy the enemy, and it shows an army commando with a military helicopter in the background.
If this is what I think it is... No, maybe it's not. I want to say Guerrilla War, but I don't think it is. Guerrilla, like that gorilla, and then War. But I don't think it is. Oh, Commando.
It was Commando.
Darn.
Unfortunately,
It looks
what
so
game
similar.
is this?
What?
It shows up a Nordic man with a battle axe pointing somewhere and a blonde Viking woman behind him.
Jeez, I
and a
have
wizard is in the background.
No idea. Was Gauntlet a game back then?
Oh, good guess. That might be... Oh, that's not how you spell gauntlet.
Gauntlet. Oh,
good
I had
job.
no idea that was a
was
game back
great.
then.
Wow, holy smokes.
Cool.
Okay, here we go. Hard mode.
Oh,
Hard mode.
no.
Name this game. It shows some kind of blue troll. It shows some kind of cyclops thing and a snake, and there's a knight there with a giant spear, and he's kind of like jumping in midair.
I'm definitely not going to get this one. Is that... Okay. Really? Okay.
What's it called?
Ghosts.
Oh, I just spelt it wrong.
Ghosts and Goblins.
So the answer was ghosts and goblins, but I did the ampersand, and it was the apostrophe N, and they were looking
Also,
for
you put ghost. It was plural for both words.
ghosts and goblins. Did I do ghost and goblins?
Yeah, one ghost and several goblins.
Oh, whoops. All right, and in this game, it shows racing cars. I don't know how else to explain that. Just racing cars.
I don't know.
In a desert, maybe.
Need for Speed?
I think was it N64 where they did that California cruising?
Yeah,
one?
I was going to say like Cruising USA or something, but...
Yeah, Cruising USA, but that was N64, wasn't it?
Yeah. So is this just Cruising?
This one was one of the first ones to use that 3D graphics chip, I believe, for the NES or Super Nintendo. Oh no, this is all NES.
It's all just
so
NES.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Should we just go? Let's go Cruising. With
Cruisin'.
N apostrophe, no G.
Cruise
I-N.
like that?
No, I-N. CRUISN. Yeah, S-I-N. And then apostrophe.
Like that?
Sure.
Okay. That's wrong.
Rad
It was called
Racer.
Highway Star.
Okay. All right.
I've never even heard of that. All right. Oh, Rad Racer. I'm sorry. It was called Highway Star in Japan. Okay, in this game, we've got two, what's that movie called? Rambo-looking dudes. One with a red bandana, one with a blue bandana. It looks like it's in Vietnam or something. It's hard to tell.
This looks like Double Dragon, but Double
In
Dragon
the
meets
screenshot,
Rambo.
it looks like you drive a tank.
Yeah. Okay. Tank Commando.
Tank Commando.
Tank Mando.
Commando, but with tanks.
Tank Mando.
It's Ikari Warriors. I
Ikari
watched the Angry Video
Warriors.
Game Nerd play that one time.
I feel like
I don't remember the name. All right, in this one, we've got some guy with a bazooka and a beret on and an American flag on his uniform. I don't really know much more. The screenshot shows a guy with a rocket launcher, it looks like, and some red guys running away from a blue guy with a bazooka.
Ooh, I can grab a hint and keep going? Because I have
Yeah, you wanna grab a hint?
one more life.
Oh, I didn't realize we had lives. I'm sorry.
Cool. Because 6 more rounds to go. Okay, grab a hint. Let's grab a hint.
Okay. It sounds like it, but it's not Russian.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, is this the Russian Panther one? What's that called?
Oh, Panzer? Is it Panzer something?
Maybe.
Panzer.
Should we try
I'm
Panzer?
going with Panzer.
Russian attack!
Russian attack?
No!
Oh, does that mean we're done? Oh.
No, we're still going.
Oh, we don't
Here
have
we
three.
are.
Oh, I see.
I don't know where you saw 3 lives. I wasn't sure
Oh,
where you
because
saw that,
there's
but
the
okay.
three NES
That's your
controllers.
hints.
And I thought like
That's just your
okay, all
hints.
right.
In this one, there is a polar bear with some underwear on, red underwear. There's some ice
Okay,
blocks.
snow
and there
climbers.
is a...
I hope. Please be snow climbers. Ice
Wait,
climbers.
is it
Ice
actually-
climbers. Sorry.
Jeez.
Oh man.
I was like, why are you saying snow? Ice climber! We got it.
Nice.
Final round, impossible.
Oh, boy.
Let's get to it. In this game, there is a mobster heist man with a gun pointing first person, it looks like, to the camera. It looks like it's some kind of shooter, first-person shooter kind of thing. With some evil mafia-looking criminals.
Okay, I don't know. Spy versus spy? It's definitely not, but whatever. I can't think of anything else.
It was Hogan's Alley.
I was not going to get that.
Never heard of that. In this game, there is some old professor-looking dude, maybe a plant, maybe some kind of bird, and some pipes. It looks like some kind of platformer. And you play as a professor
Okay,
of some sort.
Professor Platformer.
It's called
Gyromite.
Gyromite.
Oh, that's where Rob was from. R.O.B. Cool.
Oh, I didn't know that. In this one, there is a guy in a yellow Dick Tracy-looking suit.
Yeah.
And there was some kind of bear with an explosion on the cover. In the game, it looks like there's balloons and like it's a platformer of some sort. It's got very Mario-esque graphics.
Who Framed Dick Tracy?
Let's try it.
I was
it was
so
Gumshoe.
close. I was so close.
Okay, this game. I know this game.
Ooh, I don't.
In this game, there's a ninja on it. He's got some knives and a sword, and he's looking very buff, and he's in a city. It looks like it's a platformer of some sort.
I'm gonna. Ooh, Ninja Gaiden? If not, I was thinking Black Manta, but I don't think it's Black Manta.
It is Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, yes, I got one of the impossible ones.
Good job. Oh, great. And last but not least, we've got a man with a very Mario-esque looking man with a hammer. He's got like a red hard hat on, and he looks like a lot like Mario, actually. And he's breaking a brick of some sort on the cover. And it's a platformer, and it looks like the first Mario Bros. Not the Super Mario Bros. Game, but like the very first Mario Bros. With the pipes.
Okay.
It's very arcadey looking.
This is weird.
Yeah.
Super Hammer Bro. Actually, wait, don't do Super. No. Wait, go. Do Hammer Man.
He's not a bro, he's a man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's called Wrecking Crew. Wrecking Crew. You control Mario and Luigi, who need to demolish various buildings.
What
Interesting.
When?
I've never even heard of that.
What?
All right, Anth0z. Well, that was your trivia. You did okay.
Yeah.
You didn't do that bad. That was hard.
That actually wasn't
Not
that
easy. People, if you're
You
at
just
home,
said the
try
same
that
thing
quiz.
4 different ways. You did okay. You didn't do that bad. That wasn't easy. That was hard or something. It was like the same thing well, almost, but that's very Canadian of you to say the same thing but like in different ways.
Well, thank you. I know I am Canadian.
Yes.
Anth0z, let's move on to topic number 2.
Let's do it.
Which actually has to do a little bit with that that thing we just did there.
Cool.
So in my topic, I've got a book I just read recently and some follow-up questions for you that I'd like to know your opinions on. So this book we've talked about on this podcast before. We've also both read it. So Ready Player One
The
is
dictionary.
the book.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Yeah.
I went through Ready Player One yet again. I think this is my 4th time maybe going
man,
through
I gotta read it. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think I fell out of it. The last time I read it, I really wasn't all that into it. And then I just read it again not that long ago, and I was like, yeah, it's not bad. I gave it a fair shake this time. And I think it's because I just finished Harry Potter and then went right into Ready Player One, and it melded really well for me.
Okay.
So I enjoyed it a lot this time, and I think I saw some things maybe I didn't see before. So I really liked it. And I wanted to ask you a few questions about it. So for anybody who doesn't know the book, Ready Player One, please go read it. It's not bad. It's very much like a Harry Potter style book, but in the sense of a video game kind of 80s flick, pulp action kind of thing.
And very different from the movie.
Yeah, don't take the movie to heart at all with this. Although the movie's not necessarily bad, it's just very different. So in the book, there is this virtual world called the Oasis that all people can go into, and then they can go into virtual worlds and kind of live their own life. It's very similar to kind of like an MMO experience, but in VR. Kind of like Second Life or like a lot of different things. I don't know. Yeah. Just a lot of different like MMOs. Just take every single massive multiplayer online game like World of Warcraft or Lord of the Rings Online or the Final Fantasy Online, all those big ones, and put them all together into one game. And then here you go, you've got the Oasis, and then it just finds a way to translate all that. But then you add in our real life systems of banking, of school, the government, and everything, and also throw that into the Oasis. So add the internet with it as well. It's really cool. It's a really interesting concept. So my questions for you, Anth0z, since I know you're a veteran of this topic.
Oh boy.
What would you make the trials if you were Halliday? And what I mean by that is you don't have to go through all of them, but I'm just thinking if you had like something off the top of your head, let's say you were James Halliday, who's the Willy Wonka-esque character of this whole book. If you were him and you had to make 3 different kind of trials for these people to play, what are something you might think about off the top of your head? Now, I'm not going to give the trials away from the book because I actually think that's kind of one of the special parts of the book is finding out what those trials are. So I'm not going to say the trials from the book, but you go off with your own personal ones. So
whoa,
whatever you think.
That is super difficult. I would want to add some sort of music aspect to it, like you would have to I don't know. Like you would have to copy the solo from Michael Jackson's "Beat It," like the electric guitar solo that happens like in the middle, or something like that. Like, I want to incorporate. I guess like if possible, like I'd want to incorporate like more pop culture references or just like aspects in general, because like in the, I guess we're not talking about what was in the book, but yeah, like at least having music for one, maybe something movie related, and then something game related.
But keep in mind, I guess I didn't say this, but let's just say since you're James Halliday, like it's you though, not James Halliday, it's you.
Oh,
so
I see.
You were passing on, and you wanted somebody to find your egg, so you made your trials. So based on your own life, what would you want to pass on as the trials for people to complete?
I see.
So I can see Beat It working, because I know you like Michael Jackson, so I know that would work, but still.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind.
Okay, so I don't know if I can like make the whole trial like the actual obstacles, but I would want some sort of reference to the Transformers animated movie. Somehow, like
maybe you have to perform the musical number at the beginning of that.
Oh, that'd be great.
You got the touch.
Yeah. I think I would want something to do with like I guess like something to do with like the Matrix that they have to use in the end. Like maybe like he has to be worthy enough to actually open the Matrix. And like I don't know, I feel like that'd be kind of cool. Like once he's actually able to open the Matrix, like that would reveal one of the keys. So yeah, that would be one.
That'd be cool. That's kind of Excalibur, Sword in the Stone kind of thing. That's cool.
Yeah. Let's see. If I think back to, so one of my favorite games of all time was Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
So I think like I'd probably want to incorporate something like that. Like, again, I can't really think of the exact kind of trial, but I'm thinking back to how in that game was the first time I ever experienced like they incorporated like timed hits or different kind of mechanics in order to like do an attack. So for example, like when Mario was shooting his fireballs, you'd have to like press the button as fast as you could in a short amount of time, right? Yeah. So it's like you'd have to hit some sort of record or something like that, or like there's when he gets the what's the item that Mario gets, like the ultra boots or something like that, because he has like regular boots, and when you do like a jump attack, when you do your timed attack, it's just like extra damage. But if you have like the super boots or whatever, then you can like jump multiple times. But if you have like the ultra boots, you can jump like even more. Oh no, I think ultra is like you jump from like enemy to enemy. But whenever you time it, it's supposed to, like if you do a timed attack, you're supposed to like keep jumping. So maybe you hit a record with that too. I don't know. But something with Super Mario RPG.
Cool.
Yeah, I liked. You know what? Actually, I thought of something. There's the one level. Did you play Super Mario RPG by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know the sunken ship area where you're kind of like searching for all these clues like about Magellan and like discovery and like a giant squid or something like that, but you have to find like scrolls and all these other kind of hints and clues. I feel like that would kind of be like a good setting. Like for example, if you had to be in the virtually go into this sunken ship, and you have to like navigate this ship that's like underwater. So make sure that you don't like drown yourself, but you also have to find these clues, and there's like this giant squid blocking the way. I don't know. Something like that would be kind of really fun. So what have I got there? So we've got, we've got movie, we've got video game. I want to do something music related. Should I do the Michael Jackson thing? Oh, something to do with Harry Potter books. The 7 Harry Potter books. Something to do with that.
Destroy the Horcruxes.
Oh. Ooh, I like that. Yes, let's go with that. Something about the Horcruxes. That'd be cool.
Okay, and let me go on to another question here. This is another use your juices here. We got some creative juices. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
You are you.
Thank you.
You just bought your Oasis console. You throw the thing on.
Yeah.
What do you think you would design your character like? Do you think you'd model them after you?
You know, these days I'm doing that less. I used to do that all the time when I was making my avatars, but like the last one that I made was for Monster Hunter on 3DS, and it's just like there's no relation to me whatsoever. It's just like, hey, this looks like the kind of character that would be in this kind of setting. So I think I would not make him be like me if I had the choice, because I know like Ready Player One, like there's all these kind of like different characters. I would probably be something like either Sonic or like Felix the Cat, honestly.
Oh, cool.
I think Felix the Cat would be kind of fun.
I can picture that really easily, actually.
Or oh man, it's so tough. Or I'd want to be Kirby or Miss Frizzle or Eek the Cat. Oh man, there's just so many options. Jeez.
So I guess I take it that one of your vehicles that you would own would be the Magic School Bus.
Yes, I would absolutely own the Magic School Bus. That would be great.
I can just see that. Let's get messy. Okay, so here's another one then.
Yeah.
So you've just made your character.
Okay.
Let's just say you've got enough credits to do whatever you want.
Okay.
Where is the first world you would want to explore in the Oasis? You can remember. So in this world, it's a virtual world where there's other planets in a gigantic solar system, and each planet is based off of all these different properties. There's a Lord of the Rings planet. There's a Star Trek planet. There's a Harry Potter planet. There's a Monty Python Camelot planet. You know, there's all these different planets all over the place of anything you can think of, and they've been perfectly crafted for pretty much whatever you want. So where's the first planet you think you would want to go?
Is there a 90s
you hit the
planet?
search bar and you're like, search for. Is there a
90s planet?
There's always a 90s planet.
I'm going there. I'm going to the 90s planet.
The 90s planet. So what would that be like?
I think it'd be full of boy bands. There would be lots of turtlenecks and baggy jeans.
Nice.
Also, there would be frosted tips and sleeveless black leather shirts.
Would you change your avatar then? Would you be Miss Frizzle with frosted tips or something? Or would you be like Felix the Cat with like a jean jacket on?
I'd be Felix the Cat with high tops or something. Yeah.
Maybe you'd be Miss Frizzle with a jean jacket of Felix the Cat on the back.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that crossover. Yeah, that's let's do that. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, but you know what? Oh man. Okay, it's a toss-up between the 90s planet and the food planet.
Ashley's freaking me out. She's turning on and off the light.
I thought that was you just testing it.
No, that's not me. She's doing that to me. It's freaking me out.
Yeah. So it's a toss-up between 90s planet and food planet. Because on food planet, there's probably going to be.
Planet. Well,
yeah.
You know, whatever world you go into, you'll get that food anyways. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would be.
I like that.
Yeah. That's my
I didn't know what to
answer.
expect. I like that. Food planet sounds good.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Any more questions, or do I get to hear all of your responses yet?
No, unfortunately, that is all the questions I thought of for it, and that's it. You did good. You passed the test.
Aw,
this one
thanks.
you did a lot better on.
Well,
good job, Anth0z.
Thank you.
It's one of those things I was thinking of when going through the book this time. It's like, oh wow, that is really cool. And obviously that's one thing the book does do is it asks you kind of in a weird way. I mean, like, it doesn't actually ask you, but I mean, like, while you're going through the book, you also think, what would I do when I was on this planet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, or in this virtual world. So one of those cool things. But that's the excitement of that book. I encourage anyone who's interested at all in video game trivia or 80s pop culture or any kind of that stuff, go through it. It's a good book.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it before on the podcast, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again later on, but go through it.
You know what? I think there's some sort of index book or like an appendix book or something that it tells you where all the references from Ready Player One is from. Because for me, I have no idea where like maybe like a half of the references from the book are from. So right. I remember reading into a couple, but yeah, I'm sure that there is an actual like an addendum or whatever appendix. So that way
it's pretty crazy. The references go really deep.
Yeah, that and there's just so many. I think they reference stuff without you kind of knowing, right? Because like they'll just kind of pass it by rather than really bringing attention to it, which is kind of nice. They're not like trying to ram every kind of reference down your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta reread that book. You know, when I've been, whenever I listen to the podcasts or the audiobooks that I've been listening to recently. Oh, I think I haven't told you, but I started. Oh, maybe I told you. I was listening to Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah, so I finished that one, and I'm on to China Rich Girlfriend right now, and so the voice acting is not that bad. But I will never forget listening to Joss Whedon. I mean, Will Wheaton. Sorry, Will Wheaton in Armada, which was like not a sequel to
Ready
Player One, but it was also by Ernest Cline. It was just shortly after, and he
similar vein too.
Yeah, very similar vein. Similar in the sense that like they draw upon the same kind of nostalgic feelings and a lot of like 80s references and stuff like that. But his voice acting was just so fun. Like he just like. It kind of reminds me of like the Japanese voice acting that I was talking about. Like there's just like no shame in anything that he does, and he just like goes so far into like every character, no matter like who they are, their sex, their like their accent and everything. It's so fun to listen to. It's like it was really engaging. I think it really helped me enjoy that book. So thank you, Will Wheaton, for that.
Yeah, and he does do the audiobook for Ready Player One as well, and he does a good job in it. I think I've made fun of him before in the podcast of the job he does, and it's not that he's bad. There's just a lot of really good audiobook narrators out there, and I've realized that in my library, I've got like some of the most solid people. Stephen Fry, the guy who does The Martian, I can't remember his name, but he's like a winner of awards. And then the guy who does The Lord of the Rings. All three of them are like huge as far as audiobook guys go. Yeah. And then I listen to Will Wheaton, and then it's like, oh, so he feels like a little bit lesser, but it's only because he doesn't have like all these hundreds of audiobooks under his belt kind of thing of the experience of these other guys.
Right.
So I guess I've probably been more harsh on him in the past, and going through it this last time, I was really appreciative of how good he is. He's definitely good enough for you to totally get lost in the story. So he's by no means bad. He's good. I just keep listening to like really amazing people. So
yeah,
I still think Stephen Fry is the best out of all of them. I think he won some awards for Harry Potter as well, but he's just the best at changing characters. He's really good at that.
Wow, you win awards for narrating an audiobook. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, the guy who did The Martian's also really good at it too, and you can check up his page. But he's got his awards listed on there and stuff. But yeah, there's actually like an Academy Awards kind of thing for audiobooks.
Cool. All right, more tabs. More Chrome tabs are open.
And with that, Anth0z, I'd just like to say, where can the audience find you?
Well, if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at Anth0z1. That's at ANTH0Z1.
And if you want to find me, you can also find me at Twitter, Mattbrush Gaming. Or you can find me on YouTube at Mattbrush Gaming as well, if you wanted to listen to this audio podcast with your eyeballs in video format on YouTube. You can do it there. But if you want to be a normal human being, you can probably just listen to the podcast on any podcast platform. Something like Stitcher, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify. Yeah, so we're all there. If you want to leave us a comment or a like or a review, that'd be awesome. We love feedback from you guys. All the listeners out there, we really appreciate everything you do for us. That's really nice that you're listening. It just makes us feel better and more appreciative for making these podcasts. It's more worth it in the end. And if you want to give us like a full-on like conversation, you want to like talk to us or anything like that, send us a message.
If you want to give us a full-on conversation, not have a conversation with us,
just copy your favorite
get a conversation
from
give it
Facebook
to us.
Messenger and put it in an email and send it to us.
We'll recite it live on air.
The Scumm Bar Podcast at gmail.com. That's where you do that. And that's it.
Cool.
That's it. That's all I got. That's all she wrote. The fat lady has sung. Anth0z, I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
In times of need, never close your eyes.
Wow.
Keep them open to all the possibilities that can help you get to where you need. With physical support, emotional support, any kind of support that you could possibly think of. Eyes open. Face forward.
Phasers on.
Set to stun.